The women's hockey team enters 2015 with a 12-0-2 record, undefeated during regulation time. Sitting with me is the head coach of the women's hockey program, Chris Higgins. Chris, what do you attest to the amount of success that this team's bringing into the new year?
Well, I think we've got a team identity. We say our motto is Stangs run together, and everybody in the team is just doing their job, and we're working our butts off, and we've had some success.
But you got to admit, Chris, when you came to this program the year prior, the team had a 5-win, 21-loss record. You are now 12-0-2 halfway through the 2014-15 season. We're talking about the difference between midnight and noon, my friend.
Well, you know, my first year I was 6-20, and it was not fun. But in that first year, I learned exactly what we needed to do, what kind of kids we needed to bring into the program, and with the support of athletics, we have done that over the years and got the right kids in the place, the right coaching staff in the place, and we're ready to roll.
Speaking of the right kids and recruitment, there's been a lot of little rule differences now over these last couple of years between NCAA and CIS transfers. One team that seems to have been beneficial of that has been the Western Mustangs. Tia Kiffer, Kendra Broad, Katie Hubert, they've all been contributing, Coach, and they all come from south of the border.
Yeah, that's true. The beauty of us is we have Western University. Western University is a destination of choice. So when kids decide they want to come back for their education, they look at some of the schools that have reputations as being top schools. So Queens, ourselves, U of T, Guelph, they're going to get the kids coming back from the States.
Let's talk about quickly the backbone of the team. She's been it for many seasons, Kelly Campbell, St. Thomas, Ontario native, and let's face it, Coach, you may not rely on her as much now every night, but she's still a good backbone to go to.
Well, of course, everybody knows that, but Kelly actually sometimes is complaining this year because last year she'd get 40, 50 shots. Now she's only getting 20, and she's saying, come on,
Is that a testament to the defense then?
Yeah, we're a defense-first team. We started from day one. We started with D-zone coverage. We work hard on that, and that's what the little things are always about: defensive side positioning all the time. Let's take defense first. The goals will come.
So one of the bigger changes in the offseason for this women's hockey program might not have been on the ice. You changed your assistant coaches up. Now you have Dave Bartlett and Dave Edwards. What do those two gentlemen bring to the table?
Now, first of all, let me say the coaching staff last year they were excellent people. They, on their own volition, decided to move on. They had other things they wanted to do, and they're both great guys. Dave Edwards coached Junior B hockey. He's relaxed. He knows what he's doing. He's giving great feedback, works with the defense. Dave Barrett has coached at a very, very high level. His hockey knowledge is off the scale, so the whole team is benefiting from what he brings, and just an amazing guy. So both of them are just amazing. Love them to death.
Now the Western Mustangs, under Chris Higgins, mind you, which actually really shocked me as a broadcaster, 0-7 against the Guelph Griffins coming to the season. How good did it feel to get that monkey off your back?
It's funny you say that, because when we won that game, we jumped on the ice and we started celebrating like the Stanley Cup, and the Guelph coach actually called me a couple of weeks ago and said, what was that all about? And I said, well, Rachel, we've never beaten you, and that was one of our 2 goals: win nationals and beat Guelph, and so we're halfway there. She said she was shocked.
So one thing I wanted to mention was that you got one monkey off your back. You broke that O part of the 0-7 equation against Guelph. There's another 0-4, though, in Chris Higgins' book. 0-4 right now in Judy McCaw Memorial Cup games. Now, this year, of all years, coaches, due to some rule changes, you actually don't have to win the Judy McCaw Memorial Cup in order to qualify for nationals, so you can still get one done without the other. But how much would it mean to get a Judy McCaw Memorial win under your belt?
Well, it isn't one of our goals. Our goals is to win nationals, but obviously, winning that gives you a higher ranking at nationals, gives you an easier first-round thing. Actually, I was talking to Matt Holmgren, the coach of Queens, and he said he'd be very happy to drive to Western for a 1-game OUA final, and as long as he's going to nationals. So the game will be big, but it won't be a big lose and you go home kind of big. But we'll be up for it. Queens will be up for it. Whoever else is there, we'll all be up for it. But it would be nice to erase the 0-4.
Before I let you go, Coach, I actually wanted to get your opinion on maybe some of the secondary recruiting, if you will. The big names that came in, like Tia Kiffer, Katie Hubert, and Kendra Broad, have definitely been getting recognition, and rightfully so because of their point production. But let's talk about like an Anthea Lasis or an Amanda Moore, girls that might not get the big name credit, but definitely have been contributing throughout the season.
Well, actually, if you look at our lineup and look at our games, we don't have a first line, a second line, a third line, a fourth line. I mean, we have some kids in certain games stand out. You know, obviously with the Gosling and Iazolino, they dominate on the power play. But we're pretty balanced throughout our lineup. And if you look at game to game, we're always juggling lines. In the tournament in Montreal, we juggled our defense pairs. So we're a pretty balanced team. We don't rely on any one or two players.
You've told me that the motto of this team is Mustangs run together, and that
Stangs run together.
Stangs run together,
Yeah.
And that these teams, Stangs, if you will, have truly done that, Coach, in the sense that they seem to be taking it one game at a time.
Yeah.
Can you talk to that, and is that the proven recipe of success?
We do take it one game at a time, one practice at a time. You know what? Every day coming to the arena with this group of kids is just so much fun. We're having fun at practice. We're having fun at games. We're having fun being around each other. It's just a pleasure.
Now, before I let you go, Coach, you said that you had two things on the mind: beat Guelph and get to nationals and win nationals. Now, do you add another one in there, though, when you consider the fact that this team heading forward has done an excellent job of having a 12-0-2 record? Do you want to keep that O in the middle of 12-0-2 going?
Well, you know, there's a lot of theories about winning. You know, some people say winning is a deodorant, it hides mistakes. We lost a couple of games in the Montreal tournament, and that exposed some things. But actually, all week long, we've been working on some of the things we learned from Montreal. Losing a game here and there is not going to bother us. I mean, we're going to be losing a couple of top players who go into Fishu games. There's some weddings that they have to attend to. So some other kids are going to have bigger roles. We lose one or two down the stretch, it's not going to bother us. We'll just move on, and what we learn from those losses, we'll put into practice the next week, and we'll make ourselves better.
The fact still remains that the Western Mustangs are undefeated during regulation with a 12-0-2 record coming into this weekend, ranked third in the CIS national rankings. Chris Higgins, the head coach, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, John. That was good.
Thank you, sir.
Nice interview.